More ridiculous stuff, but before, let's get to how Congress gets rich from insider trading. Our boy, our resident, our favorite liberal is back with a banger on insider trading. That's right. It's fucking Johnny Harris time. He's not the CIA. You guys need to stop with that. Okay? I got to pee real quick. But let's get started.
Check this out. On September 19th, 2008, Republican Congressman Spencer Baucus made a trade that was effectively a bet that the stock market would drop. His trade meant that for every percentage point that the NASDAQ dropped, his investment would go up by 200%. This is what's known as shorting the market. And it was actually a brilliant bet because take a look what happens over the next 4 days. Oh, and this is when he sells, nearly doubling his investment. It was an amazing trade. It was almost as if he could see the future. Wait, what's this? The day before he made this trade, Baucus was sitting in a room in a private meeting with the top officials of the US Treasury and Fed. The meeting was so secret that everyone had to hand over their phone before entering the room. The people that Baucus was meeting with were the ones who were in charge of making sure that everything was under control in the US economy. But this was September 2008, and things were not under control.
This could be the most serious recession in decades.
So in this meeting, Baucus was told that, quote, it was a matter of days before there was going to be a meltdown in the global financial system.
Let's talk about the speed with which we are watching this market deteriorate. We're down over 16%.
Okay. So that explains why he was able to make this brilliant trade. He knew when the market was about to crash because he had intel from within. But what's crazy is that Baucus's short on the market wasn't breaking any rules. It was totally legal. Luckily, we have financial disclosures. All of the stocks that lawmakers buy and sell. Public information. So we can see who's making trades based on insider information. And we've used all of this information to make a list for you. A list of the lawmakers that we see as some of the best investors in our country. And in this video, I want to explain how their insider knowledge may help them make the best bets on Wall Street.
There's all sorts of insider trading happening in Congress.
That's because they're corrupt. They want
Why is it so loud?
Money from that insider trading.
The American people should know that a member of Congress is never leaving a classified briefing and calling their stockbroker.
The fact that he hasn't copy striked you and knows about the CIA allegation makes me feel like he knows us and appreciates how much we love him. Yes. Johnny Harris' friend made a collab video with him about recycling nuclear waste if you want to watch later.
So
he's a brilliant editor, man. He is good.
Buy, sell, and invest as you please. But for certain people who have special insider information about the economy, we have rules to stop them from gaming the system with their knowledge. We passed these laws like a century ago. They're called insider trading laws.
Insider trading.
Insider trading.
Basically, they prohibit people from selling an investment like stocks using non-public information. This includes tipping this info to other people who then go buy the stocks based on that insider information. And an insider is anyone who is an officer or director or 10% stakeholder or anyone who possesses insider information because of his or her relationship with a company. This could be like the daughter of a CEO who has insider information because she talked to her dad around the dinner table about what the company's gonna do next. So if you're the CEO of Microsoft, you're not allowed to sell a bunch of your stock the day before you release an earnings report that shows that your company's profits are down, which will likely trigger like a drop in the stock price. A free market needs to be a fair market too, so that the insiders aren't always the ones with the knowledge to make the best trades. Okay, so while insider trading laws are very clear when it comes to business executives, there's a group of people in our society to whom these rules kinda don't apply. Lawmakers.
Historically, Congress has had no restrictions when it comes to trading stocks. For most of American
To be fair, I mean, they should be allowed to, honestly. They should be allowed to, guys. I mean, they are the hardest workers in the field, you know what I mean? They're doing so much good work every day in, day out, trying to help the working poor, you know? If they make a tidy profit at the end of it, like, of course, they deserve it, you know what I mean? Who could forget the many advances made by the Democratic Party and the Republican Party on many different fronts? Many fronts, you know? Just the best. They're so sick.
In history, insider trading laws that affected CEOs didn't apply to members of Congress.
Lawmakers hear loads of private information. They sit on committees where they investigate and talk to businesses all the time. This stuff affects the economy and thus the stock market. And a lot of it is private. They know this stuff before the rest of us do. And yet for most of our history here in the United States, lawmakers have been able to buy and sell stocks with very little restriction. And that is why this report exists. This brilliant study recreates all of the trades that senators made over the course of 4 years in the 90s and found that consistently these senators had abnormal positive returns, like way better than some of the—
Dude, what do you mean? They're just like, they're beating out the market like consistently. 25%? Dude, that's criminal, man. That's literally criminal, dog. They should go to jail. That's fucking insane. The average citizen would go to jail if the SEC actually did a fucking, did its job. Okay? That's crazy, dude. That is crazy, brother. Get the fuck out of here. Oh my Lord.
The best investors in our country.
A study of data from the 1990s showed senators' trades outperformed the market by 12% per year. That crushes investment guru Warren Buffett, who only managed to beat the market by 2.5% that decade.
Okay. So either these civil servants are just like super savvy investors, or, as the study suggests, the senators knew the appropriate time to buy and sell their common stocks. Like, we're all kind of guessing when we're playing the stock market. Everyone's guessing what's going to happen next. If you kind of know what's going to happen next because you're like privy to information about the economy, you can play the game a lot better. Thank you, BetterHelp, for sponsoring today's video. I'm a massive support this channel, but it also thank you, BetterHelp, for sponsoring.
They don't go to prison. This happens out in the open.
And then, as banks in the stock market were collapsing in 2008, lawmakers once again made headlines with their surprisingly successful and suspiciously timed trades. In 2012, the Washington Post did a big investigation into this and found that in the lead up to the 2008 meltdown, at least 34 lawmakers from both sides of the aisle changed portions of their portfolios 166 times within 2 business days of speaking with administration officials. So many of these lawmakers are making loads of money while the economy is melting down around them. When asked about their shady transactions, lawmakers such as John Boehner, quote, declined to discuss their transactions. After this blatant display of insider knowledge, it became more and more clear that lawmakers were using their knowledge to enrich themselves. And it was not a great look at a time when millions of Americans were losing their life savings and jobs and houses.
It was the worst day on Wall Street since the crash of 1987.
Oh, but remember, it was still legal. They weren't breaking any rules. It was their right to do this. But the pressure mounted. And in 2012, they passed a law on themselves. We have an act of Congress.
Which nobody fucking follows.
Congress passing laws to regulate.
And it's literally like voluntary.
I love this.
The idea that everybody plays by the same rules is one of our most cherished American values.
Oh, and look at the name of the law. This is the Stop Trading on Congressional Knowledge Act. The Stock Act. Pretty clever. This law bans Congress from buying and selling stocks based on insider information and requires them to publish all of their trading activity, which is one reason why I have all of this paper. They're like now required to disclose all of their stock trading. Great. 2012, they passed the law. Problem solved, right? Well, no.
Ha! Yeah, right. Voluntary. It's literally like, first of all, you have to, in this day and age, look at what the punishment is, okay? To understand whether it's an actual, whether they're actually giving it the criminal treatment or whether it's just simply a suggestion. And the Stock Act is simply a suggestion. One, the enforcement of it is like not even there. Two, it is quite literally just a suggestion. It's like voluntarily releasing this information. 3, you have multiple you have weeks, if not a month plus, to reveal, to publicly state what your trades look like. And last but not least, the punishment for the crime is nothing. Okay,
Not according to our reporting. Despite this law, we still have a list that I'm now about to show you. This is a list of all the lawmakers who
This is a good video. I don't know why people said
to make savvy trades in the market, all while still being totally clued in to private and privileged information about the economy. Okay, first up, we've got the financial disclosure of Republican Senator Richard Burr from North Carolina.
Oh.
In January 2020, before any of us really knew that the world was literally about to shut down, Burr was the chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee. On January 24th, he, together with a bunch of senators, were briefed on secret information about how bad the coronavirus pandemic really was about to get. And according to this unsealed FBI document, a few days later, Burr discussed some of that non-public information that he had learned in the briefing with someone via text. Who was that someone? Their name was...
redacted.
We don't know because it's an FBI thing. Doesn't matter. What we do know is that minutes after this call, Burr logs into his trading account and sells $110,000 worth of stocks. That
Jail,
same
jail,
day,
jail, jail, jail,
literally
jail, capital punishment, capital
3:43
punishment,
that same
capital
day,
punishment,
right after
capital
he sells
punishment,
his
capital
stocks,
punishment,
and a few
jail,
hours
capital
later,
punishment,
the
capital
White
punishment,
House
jail.
comes out
Jail!
They're going to ban people from traveling to the United States if they've been to China in the last 14 days. Soon after selling all of his stocks, Senator Burr writes an op-ed for Fox News claiming that the US is, quote, better prepared than ever to face the coronavirus threat. And yet Burr continues to sell his stocks. This is his disclosure from February of 2020. And the guy's going kind of nuts on sales. All of this whole entire row are all sales. This guy is selling. Sell. In this time period, Burr moved over $1 million from stocks into treasury securities, which is an investment that is super safe during an economic downturn. But what was crazy is that the stock market
76% of his all holdings.
And he just sold essentially all of his stocks.
76%!
Look what happens. And while he was downplaying the severity of the pandemic in public, in private, he was spilling the beans, like in this secret recording.
To all of his fucking homies, dude. Like, not only did he operate on insider knowledge that the public was not privy to, but he also told his rich friends as well to do the same while literally misinforming the public. Oh my God. It's like, I've talked about this so much, so fucking much, but like, this is just yet another reminder, and it makes me angry all the same, once again.
Obtained by NPR, where Burr is telling a group of his social club.
There's one thing that I can tell you about this. It is much more aggressive in its transmission than anything that we have seen in recent history. It's probably more akin to the 1918 pandemic.
According to an investigation by ProPublica, Burr also passed his private info to his brother-in-law in a call that lasted only 50 seconds. And the very next minute, his brother-in-law called up his broker and dumped between $97,000 and $280,000 US in shares. I mean, if this isn't insider trading, I don't know what is. And yet it's impossible to prove anything. Burr himself might even be convinced that this wasn't insider trading and that he's just a really smart investor and that he did all of this based on publicly available information.
No, he doesn't. No, he knows what he's doing. No, he knows what he's doing. He doesn't care because what are you going to do? What are you going to fucking do? What the fuck will any of you in the chat do? What the fuck will any of us do? Huh? What are we going to do? Nothing. Nothing. This is why it makes me so fucking mad. People are still fighting over who the fuck is Taylor Swift dating, or people are still fucking fighting over the dumbass bullshit like, oh my God, Target's selling binkies with a fucking rainbow on it. Meanwhile, this is what the fuck the people in positions of power are doing, and there's nothing we can do about it.
The SEC and Department of Justice investigated this, but ultimately dropped the matter. Oh,
why? Why did they do that? I wonder.
Like one of 3 senators who voted against the insider trading law, the Stocks Act. So yeah, we know where he stands. Okay, that was kind of a longer one. Not all of them are going to be that in-depth. Next up, we've got this monstrosity of a document. We are looking at the financial disclosure of Congressman Ro Khanna from California. Look at this, it's like dozens and dozens of pages, and they are effectively unreadable. What's the point of disclosing your financial transactions if no one can read them? These disclosures show that since 2019, Congressman Khanna's family has made at least 10,500 trades involving nearly 900 companies. Woof, it's quite a few. Okay, like not a crime to make a lot of trades. What's the deal? A lot of these trades, most of these trades, were done through a trust that belongs to like his wife and kids.
Well, that's the classic Pelosi technique, baby. Yeah, that's how the Democrats do it. Republicans will just do it straight up. They're like, yeah, I'm insider trading. Fuck you gonna do about it? Democrats at least like put one cushion in between where they will relegate the responsibility of insider trading to their fucking loved ones. You know what I mean? You know how it is. You know how it is. Jail!
It's not, I don't trade at all. I'm up for banning trade. It's my wife's money, which I have no actual legal rights to.
But when you look at what companies are being bought and sold, you see that of the 897 companies traded by his family, 149 of them were ones that Khanna likely had non-public information about because of his role as a congressman who sits on a bunch of committees. Like, for example, he sits on the House Oversight Committee, which is a committee that has directly investigated drug prices for companies like AbbVie, at the same time that his wife was trading in AbbVie stock. You're right, it was his wife, not him. But do you see, that's not okay. And this wasn't the only one. The New York Times did an investigation that found loads of instances where Khanna's wife and kids were trading in companies that were being actively investigated by Khanna himself at the same time.
Chica, thank you for the $5 get the subs.
Examples include weapon manufacturers like Lockheed Martin, big pharma companies like Johnson & Johnson. Yes, technically it was his wife and kids doing it, not him. But come on, this feels kind of like a blurry line, but it also feels really clear. Like, you shouldn't be able to trade stock if your husband is investigating the company that you're trading stock in. Also, these are his children. Like, they're not the ones deciding what stocks they're gonna buy and sell. So yeah, feels off to me. But again, there's no way to prove this.
What do you mean? No. They're just, dude, they're watching the stock guy when XQC's not live, those little juicers, and they've learned a lot. That's why they are outperforming the market and outperforming hedge funds, outperforming any fucking person who's like, you know, who's dedicated their entire lives to this kind of thing, because they're just that good, okay? That's how it works.
There's no, like, direct smoking gun-ish type thing that's like, this is insider trading. Anyway, let's move on. And then there is Congresswoman Nancy Pelosi, a
yeah, that's the
Democrat from
boss,
California,
baby,
who served as Speaker of the House for years. Speaker of the House is a role that has major influence on what laws get through our system. Nancy Pelosi is also married to an investor. So, yeah, the story told in these financial...
Okay, to be fair, we love Paul Pelosi. He's hot. He's sexy. So, you know, we let him do it. He's also gay. You're coming after a gay man. That's David DePipe's boyfriend. Kind of fucked up on Pride Month too. Not great, sweaty.
Disclosures is one of Nancy Pelosi being married to a very, very good investor.
Very good and very gay investor.
In America. In the 2 years following the 2008 financial crisis, the Pelosi's estimated net worth grew from $31 million to over $100 million. That's up 220%. All
me, when I spread QAnon conspiracy theories, Hasan, yeah, that's the joke, man. Like, that's the joke. Like, we're joking. Can we joke? Are we allowed? Or are you going to get fucking mad? How about you get mad at Paul Pelosi instead of me saying he's gay, okay?
While the S&P 500 fell by 13%.
Weirdos,
The Pelosi's also did super well during the pandemic, seeing their net worth jump from $106 million to $171 million within like the 2 years of the pandemic. That's an increase of 60% during the pandemic. And I mean, listen, let's be fair on this. I'm sure Paul Pelosi is a fantastic, savvy investor. And there's frankly no evidence of foul play or anything insider trading here. But there doesn't have to be. The very fact that a professional investor lives in the same home as the woman who is at the center of the American legal and regulatory system presents a major conflict of interest, in my opinion. But I know it's tricky because I believe that people should be able to do what they want with their money. But when we pay our lawmakers to handle special information, it feels off to me when suddenly those lawmakers are making bank
that's
during
crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. No. He's absolutely insider trading. No.
Financial meltdown. But it's not just these financial meltdowns and recessions where they do well. The Pelosi's sold $3 million worth of Google stock just a few weeks before the DOJ announced that it was suing Google for antitrust reasons, like right before their stock tanked. Did the Pelosi's know that the DOJ was gonna investigate? Do we know? No, we don't know, but the timing was fishy. And besides, there's plenty more examples here. Like when Paul Pelosi bought millions of dollars of Tesla stock while his wife was passing laws that would directly impact the value of Tesla, like major taxpayer-sponsored electric car subsidies. Or when he dumped millions of dollars of Nvidia stock days before the US government announced that it would restrict chip makers from trading with China and Russia. I mean,
here's the issue. If you're savvy and you follow politics, you can make these speculations as well, okay? Because it's not like it comes out of the fucking blue. None of the things that he mentioned is out of the blue. However, the certainty in which you can dump like $500,000 worth of stock or purchase $1 million worth of stock can only come when you know without a shred of doubt how a certain decision in Congress is going to go. That's it. You're not buying $5 million worth of stock unless you know for a fact that your wife has whipped the fucking votes. Okay? And then doing it consistently implies that he absolutely is information sharing.
The Pelosi investor lawmaker combo has been so successful that people have started copying their trades.
Oh man, Nancy Pelosi's back at it again. You know what they say, you want to see how to be successful in trading stocks? Just watch what Nancy Pelosi is doing.
She literally locked in a 20% gain for me because it sold when she sold.
She's like a meme within the investor community because of this. And when a journalist asked her in a press conference about these allegations of insider trading or if this should be banned, this was her response.
No, I don't know to the second one. Because this is a free market and people... we are a free market economy. They should be able to participate in that.
And I mean, yes, she's right. This is...
No, fuck that. No, fuck that. No, fuck that. First of all, like, this would imply that people who have access to privileged information can also do insider trading because, hey, it's a free market economy. And they certainly can't, okay? Yeah, try that shit with, like, a Goldman Sachs banker. You can't do that. If a Goldman Sachs banker trades like this in their fucking private lives, in their private account, / gives insider knowledge that they are privy to like a random person, you get the fucking Martha Stewart treatment. She's saying that she can do it because she is a public servant, politician.
Is a free market economy. People should be able to do what they want with their money, even if they are civil servants who frankly do a difficult job every day. But a free market is not a fair market if some people, especially civil servants, are operating with information that affects the market and using that information to get rich. But again, all of this is legal. Like, no one's breaking any rules here, at least overtly. You can't prove that a law was broken. And even if you could, the only people who have the power to really change and enforce this are the people who are making money off of the law being really lax. More on that in a second, but let's get back to our list.
Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene once again defending her controversial rhetoric.
Next up, we've got Republican Congress.
What if they don't give you knowledge to a third party? No, you can't do it either. What do you mean? What are you talking about, bro? Ask the fucking bankers in the chat. Ask people that work in any company that is currently, I don't know, getting ready for like a fucking, getting ready to make like a major decision. You literally are not allowed, and you will go to fucking jail. If the SEC catches you, you will go to fucking jail. I was the lowest level employee at a Fortune 500 company once, and I was banned from trading their stock. I didn't have any insider info. Yeah. If the SEC catches you, winky face, bitch, you think actually wealthy people are going to go to jail for insider trading? They get away with it every day. You, on the other hand, as a low-level employee, will absolutely go to jail. 100%. That's like what the SEC is for. It's not for like the actual people. Elon Musk will get a fucking slap on the wrist. You, on the other hand, will get shackled on the wrist so fucking fast you won't even know what happened to you.
Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's number 12 on the best performing stock investors in our Congress, so naturally we had to take a look. On February 22nd, 2022, a little over a year ago, Greene invested in Lockheed Martin, which is a defense contractor, and Chevron, which is a giant oil company. The next day, she puts out this tweet. War and rumors of war is incredibly profitable and convenient. Okay. And then the day after that, Russia invades Ukraine. Her investment in a defense contractor and an oil giant, it made her a good amount of money. But who knows?
Wait, what? She doesn't have insider information on that front. I'm not defending her, but what? First of all, at that point, she was sitting on a whopping 0 committees, okay? So unless she heard from Pillow Talk with Kevin McCarthy, I doubt that she had any fucking insider information. Also, the entire media apparatus at that point was saying that war was going to happen. As a matter of fact, the only people that would think that it wasn't going to happen were the Hasan heads, okay? This is not like a defense of Marjorie Taylor Greene, but this is like one of those instances where like defense stocks are permanent. They're always fucking going up. And yeah, and people in Kyiv. The only group of individuals that this war caught by surprise were Russians, Ukrainians living inside of Ukrainian borders, and Hasan heads. The three individual groups that got it wrong. However, out of all of, I can't believe I'm saying this, like I said, out of all of the people that he brought up, that one specific trade, I'm sure Marjorie Taylor Greene has like made suspicious trades since then, but that is the one fucking trade where like, yeah, every part of the media was saying that like Russia was going to invade. Buying Lockheed Martin stocks right before they invade, like, I don't know what kind of information she would have had that is like privileged.
Could have been
especially because the State Department was already saying it.
Whole coincidence, or could have been public information. We all kind of knew that Putin was thinking of invading. It's all technically legal and unprovable. But if you want to go down another rabbit hole on how lawmakers profit from war and the military-industrial complex, check out our video on who got rich off the war in Afghanistan. Anyway, moving on. Next up, we've got Kelly Loeffler, former senator from Georgia. Loeffler was also in that private CDC Senate Health Committee briefing that her colleague Richard Burr attended. And look, the next day she's tweeting out her thanks for this wonderful briefing. What she forgot to mention was that within hours of the meeting, she and her husband sold off between $50,000 and $100,000.
What does Kelly Loeffler's husband do? I just want to find, wait, what does Kelly Loeffler's husband do again? Oh, that's right. He's the chief executive officer of the Intercontinental Exchange. Also, the chairman of the New York Stock Exchange. Guys, it's a trick question. I know what Kelly Loeffler's husband does. That's the only reason why she's a senator. I'm sorry. Call me sexist if you want. But the only reason why Kelly Loeffler is a fucking senator is because she was bored, okay? That's what that is. That's the price. Like, that's what it takes. Well, sorry, was a senator, appointed, failed to defeat radical liberal Raphael Warnock.
$1,000 of stocks. And then, according to her financial disclosures, in the following weeks, she sold somewhere between $1.2 and $3.1 million in stocks, right before the big market crash on February 20th. Like, do you realize it's the same exact thing? She had a head start. She had information that none of us had about how bad this really was. And she was able to sell all of her stuff at the right time. Like Senator Burr, she was investigated for a while, but nothing ever came of it.
Damn, bro, it's so crazy that the Senate Ethics Committee keeps dropping probes. Or the SEC keeps dropping investigation. Oh, well, it doesn't even get to the SEC. It's like always the Senate investigating itself. I mean,
it's kind of tricky. Like, should Senator Kelly Loeffler, like, not sell her stocks ever?
Yes. Blind trust. Automatic blind trust. Yes, it's not tricky. Blind trust. I would also want other things to be done to people who do actually trade stocks. But no, actually, like jail and then blind trust. Blind trust, but then jail. No buying, no selling. Blind trust, no touching. Yeah, blind trust, indexes only. Okay? No shot. Actual blind trust. They seem to get around that. Yeah, I don't mean like fucking... No one's touching that shit. It's like... It's fucking crazy. Like, what do you mean? Like, we're acting like representatives and senators are just like normal people. The idea that they have like every legal right to do whatever the fuck like a normal person could do when they have access to privileged information every fucking day is psychotic to me. Okay? Like, don't be a senator then, dumbass. If you want to be a fucking stock trader, be a stock trader. Don't be a fucking senator. Fuck you. I mean, actually, fuck you. Jail. Okay? Jail and capital punishment. Just like me for real, but with millions more and secret information. Yeah, it's not even just access. I mean, obviously, Kelly Loeffler is like not exactly a powerful senator, but when you are a senator, you do have influence, especially if you're sitting on a fucking committee. You have influence over the market. It makes me fucking sick to my core that these people get away with this shit. It's fucking bananas, dude.
Even if the economy is melting down and we all know it, like, should she be forced to hold on to her stocks? I don't think.
Yes. Fucking, I would do so much worse than force her to hold on to her stocks. But also, blind trust. With only indexes, not allowed to fucking touch it. If anybody touches it, it blows up, okay? Like, make like a whimsical contraption that will immediately maim and kill any man, woman, child that touches it, okay? Like saw. Okay? Like a saw trap. Okay? Straight up. That's what I want. That's what I think is great. It's so fucking frustrating. Like, listen, man, this shit is all gambling to begin with, okay? It's all gambling to begin with. But goddamn, does it piss me off when motherfuckers are like in the house and playing with the house money and they're just like spitting in your face as they fucking do it. It is so frustrating. I don't even like stock trading. I don't even like the Wall Street Andes, but there is one thing that they're absolutely right on, and that is that these fucking freaks are just literally illegally trading on insider information on a regular fucking basis with absolutely zero punishments. I cannot stand it, dude. It makes me sick to my fucking stomach. It's like the top of the hour ad break is here, and there's no one with a subscription. That's how angry that makes me. You know what I mean? Forcing people to watch the 3-minute ad break at the top of the fucking hour. Here's the 3-minute ad break now, by the way. You can avoid it if you subscribe or get gifted a sub, really. Here's the 3-minute ad break.
I think that's right either. There are some good solutions to this, and we'll get to them in a sec. But let's move on to...
Yes, like a medieval contraption that tortures you when you do insider trading. That's a solution. What are we thinking? That's a good solution.
Senator Dianne Feinstein, who was also in that room in January 2020 getting briefed on how bad the pandemic was about to be. And like others, right after the briefing, she dumped...
Okay, I'm not going to lie. This one also doesn't fit. One, because she's also hot, and as I've demonstrated, I will defend hot people. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Dianne Feinstein, and of course, how can I forget, Paul Pelosi. And the second reason why, and the second reason why is because, does she even have a brain? Like, I feel like you need to literally have a functioning brain to be able to do insider trading. And back then, it was already pudding. You know what I mean? She had tapioca pudding up there. So how the fuck did she deliver privileged information to her husband?
A bunch of stocks, like somewhere between $1.5 and $6 million. Man, these senators have a lot of cash lying around. The FBI questioned Feinstein about this, and she said that she had no influence over this, that it was her husband who did the trading, and that it was all just impeccably timed all by himself. No dinner table conversations about today's briefing with the CDC, no pillow talk, nothing. Lips sealed.
Dude, the idea that the idea that Dianne Feinstein's doing pillow talk is so funny to me. Man, the luckiest man on the planet. You know what I mean? This man gets to put his head down on a pillow and get some sweet privileged information from the sexiest lady in Congress, who is definitely not demented, okay? Definitely doesn't have Alzheimer's, okay? 100% all there and hot. And also, you guys are wrong for thinking that she's not hot, and definitely...
Honey, how was your day at work today? Good, but I can't tell you about it because it was a privileged briefing, because you might go off and sell all of our stocks and avoid us losing hundreds of thousands of dollars, because the market's probably going to crash soon, so I'm just going to stay totally quiet because the Stocks Act says so. Like, no! I'm not saying that Feinstein told her husband to sell stocks. I'm saying that it's absurd to think that a husband and wife don't talk about everything in a normal conversation, and a conversation that would probably be laced with inadvertent insider information that maybe is as benign sounding.
Dude, I am afraid I must inform you that Richard C. Blum, the luckiest man in America, an American investor and the husband of United States Senator Dianne Feinstein, died in February 27, 2022. The medical examiner ruled it death by gorilla grip. Okay, Kaya did not like that one. Yeah, she is single and ready to mingle, and also very wealthy.
Sounding as an update on your day or how your day at work was. It's just a natural conflict of interest. And yes, the FBI backed off and closed the investigation like they did for everybody else. Okay, let's get to...
No, that's crazy. Dude, these guys keep getting so lucky. I mean, so many misunderstandings keep happening. You know what I mean? They're like, the wires got crossed. It's crazy.
One more case on our list. This is by no means a comprehensive list of everyone who has had suspicious timed trades. It's just sort of our highlights, and this is the last but not least. Former Senator David Perdue, who traded 2,596 times in a single term. The New York Times.
My favorite was the David Perdue campaign where he said, where he was like, David Perdue didn't do insider trading.
Times did this great deep dive on those trades and found that he regularly bought and sold stocks in companies that fell under the Senate Oversight Committee, which he was on. One very clear example in all of this is 2016.
Dude, this is such a good fucking ad. Look
I'm David Perdue, and I approve this message.
John Ossoff believes if you repeat a lie enough, people might believe it. But Ossoff's stock trade attacks on David Perdue are totally false. David Perdue wasn't even at that Senate briefing. Perdue was cleared by the bipartisan Senate Ethics Committee, the SEC, and DOJ. Perdue was totally exonerated.
Dude, that's so good. David Perdue, totally exonerated. No wrongdoing.
John Ossoff, you just can't believe him.
That's such a good ad, dude. It's like, what a banger. David Perdue, totally exonerated. No wrongdoing. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh. David Perdue, the most innocent stock trader of all time.
Perdue made a bunch of trades in a company called FireEye. It's a cybersecurity company that had, landed a $30 million contract with the federal government. It operates out of Purdue's home state of Georgia. And most of these trades in this company happened while he was sitting on the cybersecurity panel, a role that could easily give him non-public industry and business information about companies like FireEye, which he owns stock in. 2 years later, Purdue reported that he made up to $15,000 off of his investment in FireEye. He also traded in a bunch of financial institutions,
broke boy,
like JP Morgan Chase and Bank of America, while he was supposed to be overseeing them as a member of the Senate Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs Committee. Like, conflict of interest.
I don't get it. Who amongst us is not overseeing the very banks that they have a financial interest in, like a financial stake in? I don't understand. Man, this seems like a whole bunch of hokum, guys. I don't get it.
Interest, regulating the companies that you are personally invested in. Like, it's so clear. I don't even have to explain it's okay, well, that's it. So this is all pretty frustrating and like not right. But wait, what happened to the Stocks Act? Like, where's the law? Remember the Stocks Act? Remember this? 2012? Didn't they like pass a law that said you're not allowed to do this anymore? Kind of.
Lately, I've been talking a lot about the choices facing this country. We can settle for a country that, an economy where a shrinking number of people do exceedingly well, while a growing number struggle to get by.
Dude, it was so sick when he totally changed that around and made Islam the national religion of the United States, Barack Hussein Obama, restored the caliphate, took it away from the Ottoman Empire, and said the only empire worthy of the caliphate is the American caliphate, instituted Sharia law, and then implemented global communism. That was so fire.
Or we can build an economy where everybody gets a fair shot and everybody plays by the same set of rules.
It turns out that while the acronym is very strong, the legislation is incredibly weak.
It is certainly illegal for members of Congress to participate.
Oh my God, it's NoHo Hank. What the fuck's he doing here? Wait, holy shit.
In insider trading. Proving that is very difficult.
Second, even if you do get...
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. That's bullshit. No, it's not. They keep saying this like the SEC is just right there. They can hear you, okay? They can hear you. They're right there. That's crazy. I don't get it. I don't understand. They're like, oh, man, it's so difficult. No, it's not. It's literally not, okay? The amount of shit that you could get with subpoenas is unimaginable, okay? You just need to actually will it first. When there's a will, there's a way. If you keep throwing investigations into the trash and the Senate Ethics Committee is the only SEC that fucking touches this, okay? Get it? SEC, Senate Ethics Committee. Anyway, like when that's the only SEC that touches these violations, okay? Then yeah, of course it's not going to go anywhere. The idea that like the idea that, oh man, we just simply cannot figure out insider trading is so fucking stupid. If that's the case, why the fuck is there an SEC to begin with? I don't get it. I don't understand. Like there's a reason for its existence. And actually you could do things. You could arrest these people. You could investigate them. You could subpoena privileged information, documentation. These people write everything down, phone calls, there's a lot of stuff that you can figure out, which they did. They have done this already. How do you think they figured out? Well, not the Purdue thing, but the other one. Richard, the whatever the fuck. Was it Bloom?
Get caught in this, like not disclosing or sharing insider information, the fine is laughable.
As a lawmaker, you don't face any real significant penalty for violating the Stock Act if you ultimately do, particularly the disclosure provision.
It's theoretically supposed to be like 15 years in prison, but in all of our research, not a single lawmaker has faced any consequences.
That's crazy.
Even though there's been at least 78 instances where Congress has violated the law very overtly.
You can make tens of millions of dollars with privileged information. And what's the penalty for failing to report these purchases? It's a joke. It's as low as $200.
The Stocks Act was never going to prevent members of Congress from making a few extra dollars here and there.
For the record, that's like a fuck you to you. Those of you who actually are at least like, you know, foolish enough to dig into this to see like, what the fuck are they doing? I wonder. Like, that's a fuck you to you, because when you look at the numbers that they're making, they're like, the 15 grand is like on the low end. You know what I mean? 15 grand in profits is like on the low end. Like, if the fine for for insider trading that banked you 15 grand in profits is $200, which is like literally a parking ticket that's you know, overdue, then it's not a real fine. It's not a fine at all.
There with their insider information.
We are a free market economy. They should be able to participate in that.
But here's the thing, lawmakers themselves know that this is a problem. Like, this is not a good look.
But I'm actually for banning stock trading.
Members of Congress should not be selling individual stocks. Put it in a blind trust, trade in mutual funds.
But it's not really happening anytime soon, and it's not hard to see why. I mean, we're talking about Congress having to regulate Congress.
That's just the trading fee? Yeah, 100%.
The Speaker put forth really a bill destined to fail, and the Speaker has employed stall tactic after stall tactic in order to kind of keep delaying what's potentially a vote on any bill that would ban members of Congress from selling stocks.
The tragedy in all of this to me is that both our financial markets as well as our entire democracy and society are held together by a very important and delicate thing called trust.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No. Oh my God, dude. God, Johnny, how are you such a fucking liberal? Jesus Christ.
If we expect that to apply to our biggest corporations and to our most successful citizens, it certainly should apply to our elected officials, especially at a time when there's a deficit of trust between this city and the rest of the country.
A democracy can only function if we trust the people running it. And stuff like this?
Yeah, because no, the democracy doesn't even function. It's not a democracy. Literally look to Republican state legislatures and the insane actions that they've taken that virtually zero people are asking for, to understand that the notion of a democratic process in the United States of America was never really a thing, okay? Originally, in its infancy, we very deliberately said, no, some people are just not going to vote, okay? And then we moved beyond that, and as we, you know, kept doing woke culture, like letting women vote, white women, or woke culture, like letting black people vote, and we did all of those things. We did all those woke culture things, and then at a certain point, we just decided, like, let everybody vote, but who cares? Like, no one will fucking vote anyway, because whoa, are you peeing? What the fuck was that? I got so scared. I thought that was a piss coming. That scared the fuck out of me. Don't you wag your fucking tail at me. Stop saying go piss, girl. It's not cool. She just peed. I just let her out to pee. Literally just let her out to pee in the beginning of this video. It's bullshit. Fucking bullshit. God damn it.
Even if technically no rules were broken in an evidence-based way, that undermines trust. It looks really bad. In January, a Republican senator who was feeling very snarky introduced the Prevent Election Leaders from Owning Securities and Investments Act, which spells Pelosi. The Pelosi Act. Man, if there's one thing that our elected officials seem to be good at, it's these acronyms that have like really fun optics, but like don't actually do anything. What this says to me is no, nothing's going to change, but it just shows the fact that we can like create a meme out of Nancy Pelosi and then dogpile over how insider trading this all looks. Even if there is no wrongdoing technically, that's the problem. The optics are the problem. Trust in our democracy is delicate, and the optics actually.
Yeah, I don't know how your takeaway from this is like the real victims of this is like American democracy. because it's eroding the trust that the American people have in American democracy. Like, oh God, Johnny. Oh my Lord. It was such a good video up until this fucking conclusion. Like, it's a great video overall. There's obviously some issues I have with it, but like, how the fuck do you arrive at this conclusion, man? You just explained how woefully and deliberately incompetent the American government is and the people in positions of power are in setting rules and restrictions for themselves. And then like your main takeaway is, man, that's a bad look, guys. Sweaty, that's a bad look. You know what I mean? So what would be a good look if they like hid their crimes better? You know what I mean? So then if all you care about is the trust that people have in democracy, then why did you make this video? Don't you feel like this undermines the confidence that the American citizens have in their politicians? Aren't you also participating in the bad optics by bringing it to light, especially when you yourself said, like, maybe it's actually not insider trading? Like, just say it. It is fucking insider trading. You know it's insider trading. I know it's insider trading. It's corruption. It's not a bad look. It should be criminal. They should go to fucking jail. They should. It's criminal. They should go to jail. Perhaps under the jail. I don't know. You know, let God sort it out. Chinese style process, in my mind, would be what's best.
Matter. Trust matters. When we erode that trust, we erode our democracy.
I just don't think anyone fucking trusts the government.
You, for example, are driving down the highway and you're going 55 miles an hour, but it's a 30-mile-an-hour zone, and you know you're only going to get a $5 ticket, well, you might be driving 55 a lot.
Anyway, fuck democracy. I mean, this is not like we don't live in a real democracy anyway. So I mean, fuck it. Like, I don't think people give a shit because it's not real. Nobody cares. Here,